It's National Tradies Health Month, and an Australian Physiotherapy Association study has found that 60% of tradies are working with a physical injury every day of their working lives. There are fears that this physical pain is also leading to psychological pain. Anton Guinea is a safety leadership expert, and he joins us for a chat now. Anton, this is extraordinary.
Oh, isn't it crazy, Stephen? Isn't it amazing to think that more than half of the people out there doing the work that we need, whether it's fixing our toilets or building our houses or whatever it happens to be, are actually suffering through either short-term or chronic, which is long-term, injury, pain, suffering. So, yeah, it's a tragic statistic, really, when you think about it.
What do you think's driving it? Blokey toughness, or is it a fear of losing your job?
Mate, I think it's all of those things. I think there's this whole machoism thing that still goes on, and I'm a tradesman, so I get that, and I still work with tradesmen and businesses and construction organisations in the safety leadership space, and I think I sort of forgot how much machoism there was until around this sort of time when we start talking about this. People go, yeah, no, I'm always hurting. Yeah, I've got a bung shoulder. Yeah, I've had this for months. Yeah, no, this is normal. And it was a real realisation, I guess, again for me to actually go, you know what? There are a lot of people out there suffering because, construction, particularly, Stephen, is a very cyclical thing. It's up and down, and some people have got to take the work when they can get it, or construction's very scheduled, very timeline, very, it's very high pressure, and it's very, get this job done now. So there's this whole rush thing that goes on. So, there's a whole range of reasons that people feel like they have to work through pain and injury.
Anton, is the theory here that these injuries are actually being suffered in the workplace, or are they being brought to the workplace from outside? Because if they are actually actual workplace injuries, then we're not getting the message about workplace safety, are we?
I know, right, Stephen, and the vast majority of them are things that are generally in the workplace. From what I'm hearing, it's this niggle that people can't get rid of. It's just and workplace safety is just something it's a thing that is so encapsulating, because we got to make it okay to report. We got to make it okay for people to go and get help, go and get care. We got to make it okay for people to change their job for the day, or to get someone to help them. Yeah, it might be a one-person job at the moment, though. It's two people because Jill or Jack has got an injury. Or they're or even it might be something out of work. Even if someone does have something out of work, it's okay to look after them, right, in the workplace, and that's sort of a bit human.
So who's going to drive this? The employer, or do the employees need to take some responsibility for speaking up?
Mate, I believe firmly that it's the safety leader's role. So it's the supervisor's role. I think it's a leadership thing. And would you believe, Stephen, that even in that report, that Australian Physiotherapy report, do you know what they said? They said that leadership is the key factor, and I'll tell you why. Here's the thing. Here's one of the prevention things. So we've talked a lot about how do we address it, once the tradies are injured. Yep. Here's the thing. Let's prevent it. And so what the Physiotherapy Association said was stretching, preparation, being supple, like a little bit of body care, right? Mm. And they said that a lot of tradesmen don't do that only because their supervisor doesn't encourage it and doesn't think that it's important.
Well, it makes sense, doesn't it? Because, if you're doing physical work, it's really, I guess, no different than doing some sort of physical exercise, which you would stretch and do the like before. So it just physiologically, it makes sense that you would do that before engaging in some sort of physical occupation.
I'm with you. I agree totally. And a lot of organisations have picked it up, Stephen. It's quite common to go to bigger business. See, you talk big business where they got tradies, so like a mine or a port facility where they've probably got a little bit more time. They're a larger organisation, and they've got better systems. They've got more safety process and more safety leadership. It's the little, the one or two person business or the 10 people tradie business that you really need to get this message into. And you're right, like to you and I, it's a no-brainer. Hey, you go to work and stretch, or but it's just one of those things. It's like, I do triathlon in my spare time, and it's a no-brainer. we should stretch and we probably don't. We take the path of least resistance, us humans, and I think that's why we come back to what you and I were talking about earlier. Supervisors pushing this, saying, "Hey, it's not negotiable not to, because I'm worried about you. I care enough for you to give you the 5 minutes or the 10 minutes to make sure that you're limber before you start your job."
And what about, are there organisations that tradies can talk to about this kind of thing, if they just need that support and they feel like they're struggling on the work site?
Mate, absolutely. And there's this great organisation called Mates in Construction, Stephen. So here's just a quick stat for you, mate. I struggled to find more modern ones. So between 2001 and 2013, we had about 10,000 suicides in Australia. And a quarter of those, the people that suicided were in the construction industry, Stephen. So 1 in 4 of the suicides that we have in Australia are potentially tradies to a degree, or construction workers. And that's a big number. And there's this organisation out there that supports the work like Beyond Blue. It's called Mates in Construction.
Okay.
So Mates in Construction are there for construction workers, for tradies, to be that ear for them, to be that support network. And we know that we have a lot of fly in, fly out workers in Australia, and that is one of the that can be a contributor to psychologically unstable workers. So, Mates in Construction and Beyond Blue would be the big thing to reach out to.
Well, great to talk. I mean, it's certainly something we need to highlight. Anton, always good to talk to you. Thanks for your time this morning.